I hope your voices are warmed up, because first things first, what we're going to do today is we're going to guess the movie, alright? I'm going to play a song from a Disney movie, and you tell me which one it is, alright? So, let's hop in. Into the unknown. Oh, wait. Into the unknown. Into the unknown. Into the unknown. Let me hear you go. Ah. Nice, nice. So what movie? Frozen 2. Yes, that's it. That's it. All right, next song. All right. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing the craze. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata. What song? What song? What movie, I mean? Lion King. That's it. That's it. Hakuna Matata. Very good. Very good. All right. Next song. This is a fun one. What can I say except you're welcome for the tides, the sun, and the sky. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. You're welcome. I'm just an ordinary guy. What's your guess? What's your guess? Moana! That's it! That's it! Awesome! Awesome! Good job, guys. Alright, so we did our little warm-up. I think we're all ready to go. And now we're going to learn about Gideon. So today's lesson is on Gideon. He's a character in the Old Testament, all the way in the book of Judges. And we're going to learn about him today. Alright guys, so we're going to be learning about the story of Gideon. Gideon is from the book of Judges, starting in chapter 6. And so Gideon lived in a time where there was no king in Israel. There was a couple different people who, when Israel was in trouble, would get up and save Israel. And Gideon is one of these people. And so during this time, there was a country called Midian, with an M, not a G. Midian. And Midian were really mean. And so every time Israel would grow some food, they would grow some corn, maybe some wheat, they would grow some fruit, right? They would go, oh, look at all this fruit. Midian would run in and go, hey, give me that. And they would take it and they would run away, right? And they were always stealing their food, and they were bullies. They were bullies to Israel. And so Israel was like, God, help us. And then God was like, okay, I'm going to help you. And what God did is he went to a guy named Gideon. And so Gideon was one day stomping on grapes to make juice. That's how they got the juice out of the grapes. And he's stomping on grapes, and then God's like, Gideon, I've heard Israel's cry, and I'm going to send you to save Israel from the hand of Midian. And then Gideon's like, but God, I'm from the weakest tribe, Manasseh, and I'm the smallest person in my family. And then God was like, Gideon, I will be with you. That's how you'll win. And Gideon was like, all right, I guess that's how I'll win. Right? So then Gideon went home, and he started making some food because he was hungry. And he made some food. He probably made some bread, maybe some meat, and he has it right there. And then all of a sudden, it catches on fire. And what happened was the angel of the Lord lit it on fire to show him that he's with him, that God's with him. And he said, Gideon, peace be with you. You will not die. And then he said, I want you to go and destroy the altar to Baal. Baal was a fake God. He was like an idol that they all worshipped instead of the one true God who we serve. And so he was like, Gideon, I want you to go destroy that altar, destroy that place of worship. And so Gideon was like, all right, I'll do it, but I'll do it at night so no one sees me and they don't beat me up. So then Gideon went the next day when it was all nighttime, and he was like, boom, 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 and he broke the altar, and he built an altar to God. And then the next day, people were like, who broke the altar? They were like, it was Gideon. They were like, let's kill him. And then Gideon's dad was like, no, don't kill my son. He was like, this is what we'll do instead. Instead, let's see if Gideon can defeat the army of Midian and prove that the one true God is real, and we can serve him instead. And they were like, all right, that's what we'll do. And so then Gideon built an army, and Gideon got 30,000 men to be in his army. 30,000. That's a ton. That's more Skittles than in 100 bags. That's so many, man. That's more gumballs that you see in the machine. This is a lot of men. And so Gideon was like, all right, we got 30,000 men. It's going to be awesome. But then God was like, Gideon, I want you to, that's too many people. I want you to send anybody home who's scared. So Gideon was like, all right, who's scared? And then everybody was like, I am. And so Gideon had to send 22,000 men home. 22,000. All he had now was 10,000 men. That's still a lot though. But then God was like, that's still too many people. I want you to do now, take them to the river, and whoever drinks like a dog, which means put their face into the river and drink, I want you to send home. And whoever brings water up to their mouth and drinks is going to fight with you. So Gideon was like, all right, let's go get a drink. And so they went down to the river, and only 300 men drank with their hands like this. And so now Gideon's army went from 30,000 people to 300. And Gideon was scared. He was so scared. And so Gideon was like, I need to know that you're going to be with me, God. So Gideon went and he grabbed a fleece of a sheep. And he had this fleece, and he was like, okay, God, I'm going to take this fleece, I'm going to put it on the ground, and I'm going to come back tomorrow. And if the fleece is all wet from the dew and the ground is dry, then I'll know you're with me. And the next morning he came, and it was all wet, but the ground was dry, just like he had asked God. And then he was like, okay, one more time. And he was like, this time I'm going to put the fleece on the ground tonight, but I want just the fleece to be dry and the ground to be wet. And the next morning, the ground was wet and the fleece was dry, just like he asked God. And he knew that God was with him. But God was like, I want you to do one more thing. God was like, I want you to go down to the Midian army where they're sleeping, and I want you to spy on them. So Gideon went with his buddies, and they were like this. And they were peeking over, and what they saw was two guys talking. And these were the people from the army of Midian. And one guy was like, yeah, I had a crazy dream last night. I had a dream that there was a big piece of bread, and it rolled down a hill, and it went right over our camp, and it defeated us. And then Gideon knew this is God telling him that he is going to win. That Gideon is going to win. So then the next night, Midian got all 300 of his men, and they were going to face this massive army. It says there were so many people in this army, this Midian army, that it was more than the sand on the beach. That's a lot of people. And so God was like, and so Gideon, he had everyone go and get, they all had a torch with a fire in one hand, and they had a trumpet in the other hand, and they went all around this Midian army. They were all around it, and what they did is, in the middle of the night, while all the army was sleeping, they began blowing their trumpet. They were like, and they smashed the pot that was over their fire. And so the army woke up, and they saw all around them these lights and the trumpets, and they thought they were being attacked. And they began freaking out. And it says that God made them fight each other. And they were like, boom, boom. And they were fighting their own friends. And they were like, blah, blah. Right? And so God defeated this army with that same army. Gideon, all his people had was a trumpet and a fire. And all of a sudden, this Midian army started running away. And you know what happened? Gideon won the battle, and he didn't even have to fight. He beat an army with hundreds of thousands of people, and all he had was 300. That's incredible. And so this is what's so cool is this, guys, that in this story, you know what God's trying to tell us? That it wasn't Gideon who defeated the Midianites, but it was him. It was God, right? Remember, it says God said, remember Gideon said, I can't defeat them. I can't do it. I'm weak. I'm small. And God said, I will be with you. Right? And then God told him, destroy that altar to Baal. That place where they worship Baal, and I want you guys to worship me now. He was saying, I'm your God. I'm the one who fights for you, not this other God, Baal. He's a loser. I'm awesome, right? And then we see God, he says, I want you to only have 300 men instead of 30,000. God made him fight with 300 instead of 30,000. You know why? Because he didn't need the men, he needed God. And in the same way, guys, in our own lives, it's not based on us. It's based on him. And it's about him being with us. And that's why our lives can be great. And that's why we can do amazing things for God. That's why we can go and tell people about Jesus. That's why we can go and pray for people. That's why we can give an offering. That's why we can live for Jesus and love people and care about people and share about him. Why? Not because of us, but because of him, right? God is with us too, guys. So just remember that today when you go about. Just know that God is with you. And just like he helped Gideon defeat a massive army, God is with you and he'll help you do everything in your own life too. Amen. All right, guys. I'll see you later.